To start with, I didn't know loads about vampire films, so I did some research into opening titles of some vampire films, from classic to modern day. I used websites like Art of the Title and YouTube to find some opening titles. I looked into things like Let the Right One In,
Är du vampyr?
Hade du tyckt om mig ändå?
and Blade, and other vampire openings. These films are all very different, and I took inspiration and ideas from them all. Although all these films are very different, they all followed certain conventions. We tried to include as many of these as we could in our work, but also developed and changed some to fit with the ideas and styles of our piece. Our piece used blood, but in a very subtle way. The drink at the party is a blood mixture, hinting to the audience that this is a vampire film. However, we didn't think it fit right to use loads of gory blood in the opening like Blade does, because the film is more mystery based, and we didn't want to give too much away. Although the cup being passed around at the church is also filled with blood, once again hinting to the audience this is a vampire-based film. The title of our film is also written in blood, and the opening titles have blood splatters, hinting in a subtle way of death in the film. Because vampire fangs are one of the most important aspects of a vampire film, it felt only right to include them. We didn't want to follow the normal conventions of someone getting bit by a vampire, because it just felt too cliché and a little bit cheesy. However, we did want to include them, so at the beginning of the party scene we thought it would be good if the fangs were shown on one character. The added blur effect used in this scene makes the fangs look good and it doesn't give away too much. We filmed our media piece in the day, but then later edited it to night. This is for obvious reasons that vampires don't really come out in the bright sunlight, but also because parties are normally set at night. The church scene uses more of a low-key setting than pitch black night because the filming looked better in this lighting. It was, however, edited darker later on. Our piece didn't use loads of religious aspects, but we did film the end scene in front of a church. This is because it is not only a creepy setting, but also ties in with the ideas that vampires are linked with religion. Another convention of vampire films is something that protects you from a vampire, for example, a crucifix or garlic. Our piece didn't use anything like this because we wanted it to be a bit more modern and we felt this was dated and a little cheesy. We did, however, include a ring, which the head vampire, Ezra, is wearing when he gives the mark. This, I think, gives it more of a modern twist and is something different. Like I've stated previously, we used a church for a gothic setting. The rest of the film is set either the next day or at a party, both of which are not creepy or gothic. We did this because a lot more modern films, for example Blade's opening scene, does not use creepy graveyards like older films did, because it appears a bit cliché and we wanted our piece to be a bit more modern. Throughout our piece, everyone is wearing dark clothing like reds, blacks and purples, except for our main character Lucas. This was done intentionally to make him stand out as someone different from the rest. I feel our costumes were more modern because they weren't all just black, the colours were dark but still very teenager based. The title to our piece was shown in blood splatters. Even though our piece isn't very action based at the beginning, I think it hints that later on there will be action. Most modern films actually don't use title openings, but have credits come up while the film is running. However, older films do use this, and it has been seen in some more modern films, for example, The Vampire's Assistant. We chose to do this in our piece to mix old and modern together. The titles we use are in a more modern manner because using something old would have confused the audience. In older vampire films, the cast are usually a lot older to show that they've been alive for a long time, like in the classic Dracula. Even a lot more modern films have at least one character that is older. We chose not to follow this because we wanted the audience to relate to every cast member. We did this by using a young cast throughout the opening. Usually this is seen in TV series aimed at teens like The Vampire Diaries.